In the dying light of the desert, silence spreads heavier than the heat. The earth cracks under its own thirst. Vultures circle above as if waiting for something more than death, far away. The town of dirt lies fragile, its wooden shacks groaning. In the hot wind, whispers travel through the streets, whispers of water that vanishes as quickly as the sun itself. Something ancient has stirred, something that feeds not on flesh, but on the hope of the thirsty. The canyon walls echo with cries that last only once, before being swallowed by silence. Bones lay scattered across the ground, brittle reminders of those who dared to cross after dusk. A torn hat, stained with dried blood, rocks gently in the wind as if the owner might return. But they never do. In the blackness, a pair of eyes glow, unblinking, waiting for the next lost soul. No one dares to follow the screams into the night. Far below the earth, in chambers forgotten by time, something stirs, the scrape of claws on stone, the hiss of a serpent's breath, the shimmer of a carapace wet with venom. A body longer than the cavern coils itself awake. He has slept through centuries of drought and flood, but tonight Magnus rises. The Serpent King returns to claim his throne, and with him, the desert will drink blood instead of water. He sits upon a throne crafted from the skeletons of the defiant, twisted with rusted pipes that bleed droplets into his basin. The cavern trembles with the sound of dripping water, a cruel reminder of his control. His glowing eyes scan the shadows, his grin carved from venom and hatred. Around him rats crawl, bones creak, and the torchlight dances, casting his silhouette into the form of a god. In this chamber, Magnus is not just a beast. He is judge, king, and executioner. Rango steps carefully into the dripping chamber, his revolver heavy at his side. His heart heavier still. Every echo reminds him he is not alone. The stench of damp stone and venom hangs in the air. He feels the eyes on him before he sees them. Glowing from the shadows, coiled power hidden in the darkness. The sheriff of dirt has faced liars, killers, even legends. But this is no outlaw. This is something older than law itself. The cavern vibrates with a voice that is more hiss than speech. My water is not for you. Desert rat. Each word crawls along the stone, rattling in Rango's bones. From the shadows, the head lowers, fangs dripping, eyes blazing. The sheriff stares back, but even his hat cannot shield him from the weight of that gaze. This is no negotiation. This is a sentence. Magnus has spoken, and the desert itself obeys. With a flick of his claw, he seizes the valve. Metal groans, pipes shudder, and the water above ground stops. In an instant, the wells of dirt are nothing but hollow echoes. Buckets fall from shaking hands, children cry with dry throats, and panic spreads like fire. Magnus' grin widens in the darkness. He has cut the lifeline, and with it, he has tightened his grip around every living creature in the desert. The air thickens with venom. Rango stumbles as visions claw at his mind. He sees rivers flowing red, drowning faces rising from the depths, whispering his name. Hands of the dead reach through the flood, pulling, dragging, begging. The cavern becomes a sea of blood, the cries of the lost echoing in every corner. Rango clutches his head, fighting the poison in his mind, but the serpent's laughter rings louder than any scream. Magnus rises taller, his wings unfolding with a shimmer of cruel beauty. The walls glow with the carvings of gods, but tonight only one voice matters. Bring me tribute, he hisses. Bones, gold, blood. Pay what you owe or drink dust forever. His grin is wide enough to split his face, his tongue tasting the fear in the air. Before him, the sheriff stands small, but not silent. Dirt's fate weighs heavy in the echo of that demand. Above, dirt is dying. Streets lie empty, the townsfolk too weak to stand. Their lips crack, their eyes hollow, their bodies brittle with thirst. A child sits clutching an empty cup, the silence louder than any cry. The barrels are dust, the rivers are bone, and hope itself has dried into nothing. The town waits not for water, but for mercy, and Magnus offers none. On a rooftop, against a bleeding sky, Rango stands. His revolver gleams with the last light of day, his eyes narrow with defiance. The town lies broken behind him, but not defeated. He breathes the dust deep into his lungs, and with it, a vow. If the desert wants his bones, it will have to take them. If Magnus demands blood, then Rango will deliver it, one bullet at a time. The earth quakes as the serpent strikes, fangs flashing like blades in the dark. Rango rolls, fires, and the cavern explodes in sparks. Pipes burst, water sprays, rock collapses around them. Magnus coils with fury, his eyes burning brighter with every strike. The sheriff is small, fragile, but unbroken, deep underground, where no law can protect him. Rango fights not just a beast, but the weight of the desert itself. With a roar that shakes the stone, Magnus unleashes the flood. Black water surges from the walls, tearing through the cavern like a storm. He spreads his wings, triumphant, his voice echoing through the chaos. Rango clings to a broken pipe, the torrent threatening to drag him into the abyss. The desert drowns, the serpent rules, and the sheriff hangs by a breath. But even kings bleed. Rango pulls the ancient valve, the one Magnus has hidden in greed. The cavern erupts in venom, a tide of glowing poison that burns through scale and shell. Magnus thrashes, his roar turning to screams as his own curse devours him. Rango's face is grim, resolute, his body trembling, but his will unbroken. Tonight, the serpent drowns in his own venom. Dawn breaks, and the desert breathes again. Wells overflow, rivers sing, and the town of dirt drinks life for the first time in weeks. Laughter returns, though weak, though cautious. On the horizon, Rango stands alone, his shadow long under the rising sun. But far below, in the ruins of the throne, a crown of horns lies broken, faint yellow light flickering in the dark. The hiss has not ended, it only waits.